What's up, guys? Classy Metal here. Welcome to the inaugural. Oh, it's not a good sign if my tongue's not working already. Welcome to the first episode of Seven Deadly Spins. This is something that I've kind of developed in my mind to do just for the simple fact of catching up on collection updates. I have so much stuff that I need to show you guys. This whole top shelf is new stuff that I have not done videos for, and it's a bit overwhelming. And there's a lot of stuff there. Some of it will probably never make it to the channel and being shown, but I don't like that idea. The whole point of me doing this is to promote this stuff to you guys and help you find some stuff that you like. So I came up with this idea of limiting myself to 7 albums on a collection update, and it'll just be the general collection updates. If I have like a large order coming from a single distro or label, I will probably just go ahead and show all of those. But when I have the single orders, pre-orders, Bandcamp purchases, and that type of stuff trickling in, sometimes they just kind of get left around and not shown. So the whole idea behind this little series, this little episodic series that I'm going to do, is just limiting myself so I don't get overwhelmed. You guys don't get overwhelmed. The videos aren't too long, and I don't have just so much information that I'm hitting you with all of a sudden that some stuff just kind of gets lost in the shuffle. This way, you have time to actually check out the stuff that I'm showing you guys, and neither one of us get overwhelmed, if that makes any sense to you whatsoever. Also, I'm toying with the idea of doing some t-shirts for this channel. I have some ideas floating around up here for that. If that's something that you might be interested in, like picking up one of those, definitely let me know in the comments so I will know whether this is an idea that I should go forward with. What I've got for you guys today is 7 albums that are fairly new. I think the oldest album that I'm going to show came out in December. With this 7 Deadly Spins stuff, you'll never know what I'll be showing. There could be old stuff, classic stuff, stuff that I've just kind of missed out showing along the way. But with today's being the first episode, I wanted to show you guys some brand new stuff and some stuff that just hasn't been out just too terribly long. That way you could find some new stuff, some stuff that is still fresh on the memory. I'm just going to get right into this. The first album I'm going to show is from a band out of Nottingham, England. This is a black metal band entitled Wolvencrown. The name of this release is Of Bark and Ash, and I believe this is their debut album. This is some pretty solid stuff. It is very reminiscent of some of the bands coming from that general location. There is some definite, like Winterfylleth, I think is how you pronounce that. Some Voden's Throne, even some Finn going on in this. I think Finn influence is very, very heavy in this as far as musically goes. Not so much on the vocals and that type stuff, but it's very nature-driven, nature-themed black metal, and it's performed super well. It's highly polished, highly I guess well produced, but it is some fantastic stuff. It's something that you can kind of get lost in. Amazing stuff. When I do my album of the year list at the end of this year, this is something that I may throw in the mix, something that I will at least consider just because it was released so late in the year of 2019. It came out, I think, mid-December, and I didn't even hear it until this year. I'm going to link up the Bandcamp to everything that I show in this video. I know sometimes I don't. I just list the album title and the artist. Since I'm limiting myself to 7 albums on these videos, these 7 Deadly Spins, I'm going to link up, at least find a stream, something so you guys can check this music out for yourself. Unfortunately, the CD copy of this is sold out. It was released on Avant-Garde Music, and at least on Bandcamp, it is sold out. I was lucky enough to find a copy on eBay. There are still some copies available on eBay. I highly suggest, if you enjoy this, to go on and grab yourself a copy there. The vinyl albums are still available on Bandcamp. They were all limited. I think the CD was limited to 200 copies, and the vinyl total was also 200 copies. I think that's why it sold out so fast. So definitely, if you do enjoy this, definitely get on eBay if you're wanting a CD copy and or Discogs, and try to get one before the price just goes absolutely astronomical on them. I love the artwork on this, very fitting for the album. Like I said, it's just nature-driven black metal. Definitely has some Voden's Throne and Finn influences going on in this stuff. Fantastic stuff, though. Amazing stuff. Check that out. Next up, changing gears a little bit, we have some death metal This is a band out of man, it just slipped my mind. This was released on Profound Lore, but I cannot remember. This is Warp Chamber with implements of Excruciation. Just judging from that artwork, that black and white artwork, I get a heavy incantation vibe going on, and that permeates through the music as well. It has this old school death metal stuff going. It's only 4 tracks on this full length, and it clocks in about 30 minutes, but it is some very catchy death metal, old school groovy type death metal. Fantastic stuff. This was also limited. I think this CD was actually limited to 500 copies, so a lot of this stuff that I'm showing is pretty limited, so it's something you might want to get your hands on while you still can. Just catchy riffs. These song structures on this kind of stuck out to me. Very intelligent song structures. Very smart the way they structured this to revolve around the riffs. The riffs are very catchy, and they're not repeating the same riffs over and over. That's one thing that I do enjoy. Kind of some originality going on, along with, I guess, the heavy incantation influence. I mean, the incantation influence is there, but Warp Chamber is a band with an identity all of their own. Fantastic stuff. Definitely check this out if you have not done so. I think this is one that kind of slipped by, and some people missed this. I'm pretty sure this was released back in March, and I think it just kind of flew off of some people's radar. So definitely check that one out if you have not done so. Next up, heavy album of the year contender. This album is fantastic. This has been out maybe a week, and it's one of those albums that once you get your hands on it, you just want to keep playing it over and over and over. It is that good. This is Ulthar with their newest release, Providence. This is a blackened death metal band. What I'm wanting to say, I'll get into that in a moment. Out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This was released on 20 Buck Spin. 20 Buck Spin constantly puts out fantastic music. If you see 20 Buck Spin on that little backside of an album, you know you're in for something good. I'm saying this is a black and death metal album. Depending on what track you're listening to, one track you'll have black metal with a little bit of death metal influence going in. It'll just be almost a straightforward black metal track with hints of death metal, and then the next track you'll have death metal with hints of black metal sprinkled in. But the fact that they're able to take both genres and perform and create something so seamlessly is definitely an accolade to them. This is a fantastic release. Don't let that whole back and forth between black and death metal kind of throw you off. They perform both flawlessly. Fantastic stuff here. 20 Buck Spin did an amazing job finding something like this. There is a song on here called Undying Sphere. I believe it's the second track on this album, and I wish they'd have saved it a little later, because it is my favorite track, and it's just so larger than life that I think it would have been a perfect close to this album. It's a bit of it's one of the more black metalish type of songs on this release, but it is fantastic. I can't say. I think that's my only gripe that I could possibly come up with for this album. So I'll definitely check this one out if you have not done so. Amazing stuff released on 20 Buck Spin right there. Next up, we have a one-man project out of Austin, Texas. This is more black and death metal, but it has so much stuff going on. It's kind of hard to just call it black and death metal. There's some jazzy stuff going on. There's some acoustic stuff going on. The album that I'm referring to is the self-released CD from the band Sarpa, entitled Solivagus, I believe is how you pronounce that. As I said, it's I saw an article or a review about this at one point when I was kind of just going through trying to find some new music, and I stumbled upon this. It said Sarpa is effing weird but wonderful, and I think that reviewer, that blog, the person who was writing that kind of blog, hit the nail right on the head. There are times that this is just weird. It's very progressive stuff going on, very progressive death metal, very progressive black metal going on within this. The jazzy elements, the acoustic elements, but they're all arranged flawlessly to the point where you almost get this ritualistic vibe going on at times between the drums and chants. I can't do it justice just by talking about it. It's something I hope you guys definitely go and check out. Very original album. It is as I said, it's a one-man project. It's David Baxter. He was in Screw, and he was also in Plutonian Shore was the other band that he was in, among some others. I know those were the two that stood out to me. But he does all the stuff on this release. Amazing stuff. Definitely check this out. As I said, it has it's weird at times, but it has almost a very what, as a lack of other words, a very ritualistic vibe going on. It's something that almost trance-like at times, but it is very, very good stuff. Next up, I listened to this one quite a bit yesterday, with yesterday being Father's Day. It's a very dad metal type album. I guess dad metal without being dad metal, because it is a newer release. This was released this year as well. This is an EP from the Apex, North Carolina band Outliar. This one is entitled Thrashing the Vault. It's 5 tracks. I think there's 6 tracks on the actual runtime. One is not listed on the back of the release. I think there's no lyrics and that type of stuff to the song. This is thrashy groove metal. It's a very, very throwback type release to Exorder, Pantera, even Sepultura, older Sepultura groove metal type sound going on. It's very fun stuff, very catchy stuff. It has the riffs that will just get your head nodding and just snap your neck right off before it's over. It has it's a nice balance between thrash and groove, because you have your little faster paced thrashy type moments, and then it slows those down and just hits you with that groove, and you cannot help but to just get your head knocking, and maybe your foot will start tapping. Good driving music, fantastic driving music. So definitely check out Outliar if you have not done so. That's another one I think a lot of people probably haven't even heard of, and definitely worth your time checking out. I believe that one was self-released as well. Next up is it's another very strong album of the year contender. It was released back in February. I've had this on my shelf for a little bit. I've been trying to find the right time to put this in a video, and I just got tired of waiting, and I knew it had to go in the video today. This is Nightcrown with their debut full-length entitled Impius Viam. Fantastic follow-up to the 2018 EP. What was the name of that EP? I got some little cheat notes. I'm sorry. Humanity Will Echo Out. Yeah, that was an amazing EP released on Blackline Records. This is fantastic. I think they've topped that EP with this full length. It is melodic black and death metal out of Sweden. There's no filler on this album whatsoever. Every track is phenomenal. This was playing before I started making this video, as I was doing my little notes and getting my thoughts together, what I wanted to say about each of these albums. I had this playing in the background, and I kept putting off this video because I didn't want to turn this album off. It is that good. I've already heard it several times, but once it's playing, I just wanted to keep playing. My favorite track on this is track 4, entitled Ira. I believe if you visit their Bandcamp page for this release, that is the featured track that you're going to hear. And you will not be disappointed. There's such a huge soundscape to that track. It's just completely encompassing. You can submerge yourself into this release. I mean, it is highly polished. As I said earlier about another release, highly polished. The production value is there, but it's melodic black and death metal, just performed amazing, just flawlessly. And definitely album of the year contention right here. If it's not my album of the year, it will be somewhere, probably top 5, no doubt. So I'm gonna say that about so many releases, and then I'm gonna be kicking myself, because obviously you can only put 5 releases in the top 5. But this is not alcohol. This is a Cock and Bull ginger beer. It's actually pretty good. It's my first time trying it. It's got a bit of a bite to it. Last but not least for this video, another strong album of the year contender. This is some black metal out of Kentucky. This is a band that I've followed since their 2014 album, Storming Heaven. They've released another EP, and a full length in the meantime, and then this just came out not even a week ago. This is Fornicus with Sulphuric Omnipotence, I believe is yeah. I'm surprised I didn't get tongue tied and butcher that. I love that artwork. My only gripe with this band is all of their shirts only ever go to extra large, and they need to put some fat people sizes for people like me. Amazing stuff. No frills, black metal out of Kentucky. Dark, no apologies. Amazing stuff. As I said, it's just pummeling, blistering black metal. There are little hints of like a bastard son of death metal sprinkled into this as well. But for the most part of this, you're just getting humid, hot, blistering, straight out of Kentucky heat black metal. Amazing stuff. The song on here, there's one song, One Mass Grave. My favorite track on this release. That one will just pummel you and beat you into submission. Fantastic stuff. Do yourself a favor and check all of these out. There are at least three in this one video that are just strong album of the year contenders. And I think 2020 has just been, especially with Corona, I guess COVID going on, there's so much good music coming out because people are having the time to produce these albums. It's a terrible year for touring, but I think it's going to be a fantastic year for actual albums. So for a collector scum person like myself, I've just been completely excited because I've heard so much great stuff coming out this year. There's so much pent-up frustration and anger. I think extreme music is benefiting from this, just as far as new music being created. I think the whole music industry in a whole has been hurt from this, but there has been some fantastic releases as a result. This is no different. As I said, strong album of the year contender. Definitely check out Fornicus. Amazing stuff. That's all for today. Like I said, I'm going to limit these 7 Deadly Spins videos to 7 albums because we're almost at 20 minutes on 7 albums. I appreciate all you guys watching. Hope you go check this stuff out. Definitely let me know what you feel about the t-shirts. I have some ideas, like I said, just floating around in my head, but I think eventually I'm going to pull the trigger and get those made up. So I hope you guys, some of you will at least be interested in taking part in that. So I will also kind of hint, I'll drop some hints that the t-shirts will be going to fund a bigger cause that I'm not going to get into right now, but I have some other things on the horizon that I've been wanting to do, and within the music industry, and I just haven't pulled the trigger on that. This whole start of the year with everything going on kind of put a hamper on some of that, and I think now is the time to start following some of those passions and some of those dreams. So definitely let me know what you feel about the t-shirt idea. Let me know what you feel about some of these albums. That's all I've got for today. I'm going to try to make these kind of a regular 7 Deadly Spin episode, kind of a regular thing, at least once a week, to try to knock out some of these updates that I need done. Also, I have some larger updates and stuff coming in that will be thrown in the mix as well. That's all I've got for today. Stay classy, stay metal. Get in on my MORGUE giveaway. I almost forgot. I do have a giveaway going for the first issue of MORGUE, so check out my previous video. That'll be linked up in the description. Get in on that. And I'll see you all very soon. I promise.